Supervisor with Ottawa County Parks and host of Coffee with the Birds. I want to welcome everybody in person here. We've got a full room in the wildlife den here at the Nature Center, and I cannot see through the wall there, so I don't know how many people are in the other room. Is there a lot? Last time we had 141 people at Coffee with the Birds. That was a new record. And Tabitha over here says we're going to break 200 today. So I'm like, do I want to? Yes and no. So welcome to those of you who are watching the live stream in the Great Room, and those of you who are watching the live stream online from home, drinking your coffee, eating your donuts. Very nice sunny day today too. It's a great day to be out and watching the birds and enjoying the coming spring. So let me do my slide here. So what is Coffee with the Birds? For those of you who don't know what Coffee with the Birds is. Who's a first timer here in the audience? All right, excellent. Tabitha, you're not a first timer. You've been here. She works for me, so. A special welcome to those of you who are new timers to Coffee with the Birds. And I'm looking online. If you are online, check in. Let us know where you're viewing us from. And if this is your first time, let us know that. We do have Susan from Chicago. That's excellent. You got up an hour extra early to view us. And then Pam from Fremont is viewing. But if you are a new viewer, let us know. Special welcome. So, what is Coffee with the Birds? I'm going to switch back and forth with my little prompts here. So if you see me looking at the screen, I'm trying to manage several things at once. So it's an informal time to enjoy birds, coffee, pastries, and community. Because we are all together. Whether we're online or we're in person, we are a community of people that love birds. It doesn't matter if you just love watching the birds come to your backyard feeder, cardinals, whatever, and maybe those are the only ones that you know how to identify. Or you might be somebody that travels the world and sees 8,000 species. Like I just got word that a friend of mine, he's in Belize right now. He's a retired doctor. And Steve Hamburg, if you've heard the name, he hit 8,000 today, or last night. So he posted that he hit his 8,000th bird with Yucatan jay down in Belize. So you can be a Steve, or you can be not a Steve, and still enjoy Coffee with the Birds. This is a place for us all to get together. Even if you have very little knowledge of birds, this is a community for you. We'll do feeder identification when the birds show up, so I'll talk until the birds show up, but feel free to interrupt me at any time if a bird shows up that I need to see and that I need to point out to you and those online. So, we're going to identify the birds of the feeder. I'll take questions, curiosities that you have, stories, recent bird sightings. This is a really informal time, so it's not, I come with a prepared presentation. That comes a little later. It's a time for us to just converse and be together. So, and enjoy birds together. And then at 10:30, well, a little before that, I'll have to leave out of here about 10:20 or so. I'll go into the Great Room to set up for my presentation. And today the presentation is going to be on my travels to Slovakia, and I'm going to do a little portion of that trip for the short period of time that I have. But then there's an announcement coming that on the 27th, if you want to see the whole presentation, I'm going to give that here at the Nature Center. That'll take an hour and a half rather than just a half hour. We got birds. We got chickadee on 7. We got cardinal on 8. We got nuthatch, the white-breasted nuthatch. They're on number 4. The birds are coming in. Good. Good. We had a few goldfinches on the screen there where Rick is showing. And those of you in person, feel free to enjoy it up on the screen there as well. That's for you, so you can see things up close. As the traffic is increasing here, I'm going to just say, I'm going to wrap this up, but I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank Kestrel Imagery, which is Rick VELDMAN right here. He is doing the live streaming here with all of his equipment, and it has evolved over the years. We were commenting on that last night when he set up. He's got a great system to go live streaming from the Nature Center here. The Washtenaw Islands Audubon Society for donating to purchases of food at the feeders. DeBrine Seed Store for their donation of prizes for this year's Coffee with the Birds, and we buy our seed from DeBrine Seed in Zeeland. The Friends of Ottawa County Parks has provided non-coffee drinks for those of you who are non-coffee drinkers, so we thank them. And today, a first-time sponsor, we have Aldea Coffee here from Grand Haven. They are with us today too. So if you see Andrew and Scott, their head roaster, may be coming later too, tell them thank you. They're here. They brought the coffee themselves. They roasted it themselves. Tell them a big thank you for sponsoring Coffee with the Birds. So it is time to get on with the birds. Look at that. Now we've got the pine siskin on the lower right of the feeder. He's giving us the backside right now. But notice he's streaky. The one on the left is a house finch. Okay, the one on the right. Hold on a second. You know what? I'm wrong. I'm getting size comparison. That is a house finch. Oh my goodness, I'm slipping. I was like, wait a second, that thing's the same size as that house finch over there. I just got excited because I'm so anticipating this pine siskin showing up, which we had a pine siskin earlier today. So I'm hoping that it shows back up. But we've got goldfinches and a house finch on the number 4 feeder there, which is highlighted for those of you online. I'm going to check the messages here real quick. Oh, and guess what? DeBrine Seed is on. So Ken and Caleb and crew there at DeBrine Seed, thank you and good morning to you there as you're busy in the store. And they tell me that they get an influx of customers after Coffee with the Birds. So look out, the wave is coming later. And we've got Jacob joining from home and wife Lydia. We've got greetings from Park Township. We know who that is, the Whippoorwills. That's Carl and Judy Manning. And then Pamela is saying, new birds this week at my feeders, red-winged blackbird and grackles. Who else in this room has seen red-winged blackbirds and or grackles this week? Not grackles yet for me, but they're moving in. Spring is just around the corner. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to all of you. If you have questions, comments, bird sightings that you want to share, we're going to let the non-employees go first. We have this thing. Questions? Yes?
I do have 4 bluebirds.
4 bluebirds. Excellent. So we've got a sighting of 4 bluebirds. Anybody else? Yeah. 6 hooded mergansers. Nice. Nice. They're leading the charge of those. Hooded mergansers are an unusual winter bird here. You can find them on occasion, but they're one of the first that starts arriving when things start to melt. So, nice. Very nice. So, first time at the first season that they've had it at their house on the Grand River, and second occasion. Great. Who else has other bird sightings? Oh, yeah, we'll get to that, Ian. Ian Minter says it's been a great week for lifers. We'll get to that. Whippoorwill says, that's the Mannings, redwings and grackles at Stu Visser today, or this week. Anybody else? Questions? See, there it is. There it is. So what Ian says on here is a great week for lifers. For those of us who have been birding for a while, and it becomes a rare thing to get lifers in your area once you bird it for a while, until rare birds show up. Then it's fun. So, who in this room, while I'm watching here, call me out if we get new birds coming in. The junco is back? So, pause on that conversation then, because we're going to look at, oh, there's American tree sparrow coming out from behind the tree there. And in front, over by the squirrel. And there is our pretty junco. Take a look at this junco. I'm going to have to look this one up to be sure. So we're thinking that it might be a female Oregon. This, as pretty as it is, like I'm wondering, I'd have to compare it to some photos. It might be a pure female Oregon junco. And if it's a pure Oregon junco, that's an unusual thing. You get to put that, you can actually, we're, to the left of 8 on the ground. It fluttered, flew. While you're waiting, the tree sparrows are there on the ground there too. So these brown ones with the gray breast and the spot on it, that's American tree sparrows. And mixed in are the gray, charcoal gray ones with the white bellies. Those are dark-eyed juncos. But we'll wait for that Oregon junco to come back. I'm going to call it Oregon junco, but it might be what we call a Cassier's junco. Some of you, before we went live, I was getting that question already because this bird showed up. But for the sake of those of you online, what a Cassier's junco is a cross between 2 different subspecies of dark-eyed junco. The slate-colored junco, which is what we typically see here, and the Oregon junco, which is a more western subspecies of junco, which has a distinct hood of dark and then a brown back. This bird that you saw was probably a female Cassier's or Oregon junco. Pretty cool bird to have at our feeders, though. So that's an exciting thing. So while we're waiting for that to show up, we got a downy woodpecker right here on number 5, right in front of us. And apologies to those of you online looking at number 5 in the bottom right of your screen. But it's a bright sunny day, and when you point a camera at a feeder that has a bright sunny background and you're trying to, account for that, then it makes it really bright in the back. So, but you can see the downy woodpecker there. That's the female without any red on the back of the head. Yep. So I'm going to pull up a picture because it was brought up, and I knew it would, so I was prepared. So when I bring this picture up, can you put it on the screen there, at least for about a moment? Who in this room saw one or both of these birds this last week or two in this room? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got about 8 people in this room. At Holland State Park, there's been a tufted duck, which is a European species, rare to North America, not just Michigan, rare to North America. Okay? Also, at the same time, half an hour from that spot, there's been a barnacle goose, another rarity for North America. Not a state rarity. Okay, it's rare in the state because it's rare in North America. Barnacle goose, which nests in Iceland and Greenland and winters in the north coast of Europe, showed up on the Kalamazoo River, on the south side of the Kalamazoo River. It's been seen yet today in Schultz Park, right off of 196 there in Saugatuck. So it's still around. The tufted duck disappeared. It wasn't seen yesterday, nor has it been seen today, unless I need to be corrected, but I'm not keeping up with the chatter online right now. So if you've all seen the movie The Big Year, have you seen the movie Big Year? If you haven't, see it. If you like birds, see the movie Big Year. It's got Jack Black, Owen Wilson, and Steve Martin, so it's funny. Okay, 2011. It's from 2011, but it's a story about birders who go crazy trying to see as many bird species as they can in 1 year, which is a big year. People that do that, they were booking airline tickets to come to Grand Rapids probably, and then drive to Holland for these 2 birds. Okay, this is one of those that when they show up, you're like, oh, I'm in California, but I gotta have those for my year. So they come. There have been people coming from all over the place to see these birds. It's amazing. I wish I could ask it. There's some mysteries behind how these rare birds show up. Not sure how storms sometimes knock them off course and then they go the wrong direction and end up in North America. The barnacle goose, Greenland, if it's flying from northern Europe to Iceland or Greenland and gets caught in a storm, can float across. The tufted duck, though, is not one that I don't think migrates that direction. So they were breeding in Slovakia where I was, so they were a fairly common bird in that area. So it's not a lifer for me, but it's a lifer for the county, for Michigan, for North America. It all depends. Sometimes they're so off course, they're so disoriented, they can actually not find what they need as far as food and things and can perish. Sometimes they do really well and then they disappear and we don't know where they go. If they find their way home, birds have awesome homing abilities, so sometimes it might be just a matter of, okay, I'm going to hang out here, reorient myself, get some food, and try to get back to where I'm supposed to be. But there's a lot of mysteries with that. So tufted duck and barnacle goose, if you are so interested, you could, if you're on Discord, which is a texting app platform. There's a Michigan Birds forum on Discord that you can follow where the rare birds are. So look up Michigan Birds on Discord if you're familiar with that, and you can follow where all of these rare birds are if they're still being seen. So we've got the junco back. We've got more squirrels than birds out there right now. The squirrels have been waking up. So now okay. So I've got some more comments here from Carl and Judy. Lots of good birds recently. Tufted duck at Holland State Park, barnacle goose in Allegan, golden eagle and snow goose in Ottawa County. So there was a golden eagle that was spotted just southeast of here for a very brief time. It was perched and then it flew. I took a break from the office and sped after it, but I couldn't catch up to it. It was gone. They migrate through here in very, very small numbers from Appalachia to an eastern breeding population in northern Canada. And they're really rare because there's so few of them. So they are here and moving through Michigan annually the first half of March. That's when they come through. So, and then they said, first year female Oregon fits for this bird. Cassier would not have orange flanks. Thank you. Carl and Judy are looking it up. We're getting preliminary data that this bird could be a pure Oregon junco, first year female. Michelle is saying hi from North Holland. Welcome. And Tabitha is saying hello from the Wildlife Den online. Those of you online, Tabitha, Holistic Wellness Tabitha, she is sitting right here in the Wildlife Den. She works for me too. She's going to get fired. We have this running joke, and I say almost daily to her, "You're fired." So, okay, did we get the junco back? No. Okay, there's a lot of tree sparrows down on the ground here next to the pond. Look at all the tree sparrows there. What's fun is that they start singing now or start twittering a lot more. So where the Twitter handle, it used to be Twitter, not anymore, but they twitter just like they should. It's such a cute little sound, and they're doing a whole lot more of it. And then if you catch it, they have a nice, very pretty song that they sing just before they leave to go north. They're a wintertime species. They don't hang out here in the spring. Bottom of 8 is the junco. Oh yeah, it's behind number 8. Yep, behind those 2 black squirrels there, Rick. That's a cool bird. You can see the difference. You can see the difference with the other juncos. It stands out quite a bit. That's pretty exciting. And Susan is saying she's confirming Oregon junco, so we've got more people weighing in on this bird. Those of you here, any other, I know it's been like a fire hose here for a moment with all of the birds and then talking about the rare birds and all of that. I had figured, let's get that out of the way. Let's settle in, watch the birds at the feeder, field some questions here. Questions, comments, curiosities. Downy woodpecker on number 10. Y'all are too quiet.
What was the bird that landed after the last comparable bird on 5? Was it or right at the end of comparable bird, right on 5?
Oh, so earlier in, so the question is, what was the bird at the last Coffee with the Birds? We had a hawk fly through, presumably at the time we thought it was a Cooper's hawk. It happened so fast, and the cameras didn't catch it because Rick just wasn't fast enough. Actually, you can see the moment. You can see the moment when it happens, and you can see like maybe the tip of the wing on the number 8 feeder when it actually happens online. But we figured it was a Cooper's hawk, and then after everybody left and Coffee with the Birds was done, it came back, I presume the same bird, and flew through here and perched, and it was a Cooper's hawk. Yep, it was a Cooper's hawk. So that was pretty exciting to see, hunting the feeders. Yes. I am not even to 1,000, okay? Yes, correct. So the question was, what about me? How close am I to 8,000 species? I'm a long way off from that. Because most of my birding has been in North America, and when you get a North American list over 600, you're doing really, really well for North America. And I am over very, very close to 600. I think it's with barnacle goose and tufted duck for North America would be 582 or 582 I think is what it is right now. I hope to get a few more this spring. I have a trip planned to Idaho and then to Washington. I hope to pick up a few lifers there, but it becomes harder and harder to pick up North American lifers when you're in that realm. But just for context, those year-long birders, those big year birders, they get over 700 in 1 year. Okay? If you don't get over 700, you're not going to win that competition. So, not me. Steve, how long has he been birding? I don't know. That's a good question. Quite a long time, and he's been traveling a lot. He travels all around the world, obviously, to see 8,000 species. There's only 10,000 species in the world, so he's seen 80% of the bird life of the world. Okay? Wow. But you know what was great? When I gave my Slovakia presentation to Holland Audubon, afterwards he came up to me and he said, you know, there were a couple birds in there that I haven't seen yet. I'm like, yes! Yes! Yep. And I believe at least one of them is in my presentation later. So I'll make sure to let you know which one that was. In North America, I think if you're chasing all the rarities that get blown over from Europe and Asia on the East Coast, or Attu Island and the Aleutians and Alaska, you can get 900. But that's after years and years of chasing rarities. I think regularly breeding birds ends up being closer to 700. I don't have the exact number. If somebody wants to look it up, welcome to do it. But I believe it's somewhere in the close to 700 range. It's probably in the 600s for regularly breeding species in North America. And then you go to one plot in Ecuador, and you have over 1,000 species in a small plot right there. So like the context is, yeah, it's amazing. Red-breasted? Where? Red-breasted nuthatch. Yay! It flew to the right and up. Way back behind number 10 and up where that branch is hanging down there, it flies over to the left. We actually have the red-breasted nuthatch for the first time this season at these feeders. Yes, so, and I said that already, so red-breasted nuthatch has been showing up at my boss's feeder, Jessica, right outside her window. I don't have a window on my office, not fair. And then they're like, oh yeah, this bird has been showing up the last couple days. I'm like, what? Nobody told me? Yeah, I might not get a whole lot of work done. Alex over here says it's probably a good thing I don't have a window. Yeah. Touche. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah, office windows are dangerous because, yeah, Rick is bringing up a point. One of the rarest birds that's been found in Michigan was the black-throated gray warbler, which is a western species, like out in California and that area. And Caleb Putnam, if you know of the name, if you're in the birding world, he's quite the birder. He's sitting in his office on Monroe, right up the Grand River, and in the tree right outside is a black-throated gray warbler. People came from all over the state to see that bird, and it was just literally outside his office window. I'm like, what are the chances that would happen? It wasn't even at a feeder, nothing, just there. So you never know. So, oh, I have to get back to the sponsors because I didn't finish that. I got so distracted. So distracted. I thanked all the sponsors, but I failed to finish it off by saying thank you to our Mug Club members. What's that? Oh, the presentation up. Yes, I should put the presentation up. I guess we can do that for a moment. Is it not up? Number 4 right now are goldfinches. Goldfinches. Not just goldfinches. They're goldfinches. Beautiful goldfinches, that's right. Number 4, that is sunflower seed. So the question is number 4. What's in it? It is, let me grab the correct, where is it? It is sunflower seed out of the hull. So it's the heart of the sunflower seed. That is our best seed by far. So, yep. Can I say thank you to our Mug Club members? Then we'll go on. I can say that, Tabitha. Okay. Thank you, Mug Club members, for your sponsorship of Coffee with the Birds. With your purchase of a membership, you've got this nice mug with the American Avocet on it by our very own Ryan Beebe right here, who won our photo contest this year. So if you want him to sign your mug, he's available later, you know. There are also calendars available with this picture and many more of the winners from this year's photo contest. But your sponsorship of this program by your purchase of a membership is greatly appreciated because it helps to run this program. It helps to purchase seed at the feeder, which is lots of money. These birds go through lots of seed. So it's a high budget, and we appreciate your help with that. So thank you very much for your sponsorship of the program. And you can get that online if you want your membership. You can still get them online. $25 gets you a membership to support what we do here. You can pick up your mug at the Nature Center right here. We'd love to have you join our club. I didn't take any of the pictures. So, more questions. There were more questions now that we've got all the formalities out of the way. So the question is this the time of the year when owls are mating? And she has a friend who wants to go out and hear the owls at night. And where should she go? It's a hard question to answer necessarily because you can't, well, I'll answer your first question first. Yes, it is breeding season for owls. However, different stages for different owls. So great horned owls are on nest already for sure. And they probably have young in the nest, pretty small young in the nest, if not now, fairly soon. They start breeding in January. So, and then when they have to feed extra mouths, it coincides with what's going on out there right now, which is the warm up and lots of baby mice. So it's a strategic thing from best we can tell. Barred owls are getting started now. So March is a good month to find a barred owl or to hear a barred owl. Screech owls a little later than that. Those are our 3 breeding owls in the area. But the barred owl, you could get them here. There's a lot of different places. I know Hager Park has had them. Grand River Park has had them. You know, they're actually fairly common in dense, mature woodlands, typically along the water. They like water. So they're pretty widespread. So yeah, now is a busy time for the owls, and one of the best times to observe owls, not necessarily to hear them though, which I'm sure is pretty important there, but is actually a little later when the owls are fledging, and then they're feeding them, even catching food during the day. So later on in the season that tends to happen. The best time to hear a great horned owl is actually November and December. When they're pairing up. But Rick, now I can't verify this, but he walked out the door last night after setting up and he texted me, he's like, there's a great horned owl calling from the parking lot. So I ran out there, nothing. So whether you believe Rick or not, there may be... So, but there is actually a suspected nest somewhere close by here. So this is another good spot for great horn. Yep. Blue jays coming in. I hear them. I'm going to check online here a minute for... Where are they? They'll come in. When they call like that, they're usually trying to clear everybody out. Here. There's a downy woodpecker, nice and close. Chickadee on number 3. If I haven't mentioned chickadees there, I'm sure they've been coming in. Black-capped chickadees. We probably had tufted titmouse out there that I just have missed. Yes, okay. So yeah, I'm looking this way and I'm looking down here. I need to be looking at the birds. And now there's none out there. Downy woodpecker on number 5 here. Are there any questions from those of you online? I see Pamela's got a nice... now you're going to make me embarrassed to say these nice things you say, Pamela, but I have to repeat it for people in person. Pamela says, sad I haven't made it in person this year, but so grateful for the live stream viewing. Thank you, Curtis, Rick, and crew. So thank you, Pam. I'm glad that you can join us that way. So the question is, so the junco is there or the house finch, Kyler? Oh, house finch is above 8. So if you want to see the yellow house finch in that bare bush back behind, oh, it's now on number 8, right on number 8. You can see this yellow orangish house finch. That has to do with diet more than anything else. The carotenoids in the diet actually create more red. So it's got some sort of dietary difference that is causing it to be orange. Now what I'm told is, and I've not birded Southern California before. Oh, good job, Rick. All right, look at that. There's your yellow house finch. So Southern California, apparently there are more yellow orangish colored house finches than here. And it must have to do with the diet that they have down there, but that's what I've been told. If anybody has been birding down there and can verify that, feel free. I've not birded Southern California. It's one of the places I need to go. But for to see it here in Michigan, that bright yellow is kind of unusual. And it's interesting that we've got 2 of them that way. So maybe, did they change their diet? Is what caused the red not readily available in the environment right now? I don't know, but I think we've seen some red house finches too. So why? I'm not sure. I wish I had a better answer. I do know that it has to do with the carotenoids in their diet, though. We got Janet Cross saying, good morning from Marne. Welcome, Janet. Nice shot of the goldfinch up on the branch there, Rick. So, Rick, you know what bird I'm waiting for? Well, another bird that Rick claimed yesterday that I can't verify. Yeah, Rick claims he saw a flicker come into number 5 here and grab some suet. So, another Rick bird. Do you believe it or not? I don't know. Yep. I was hoping that sitting here for, a couple hours today would validate that one. Yeah. Yep. So someone in the, your name? Pam. Pam here in the audience has had flickers at her feeder, not too far from here, which it's become more and more common for them I shouldn't say common, it's uncommon to find them in the winter here. It's not uncommon. They're very common in the spring and summer. But for them to be overwintering, have we got a hairy woodpecker today? Oh, yes. Hairy woodpecker straight back in number 10 on that shaggy tree there. I think that's a dead cherry tree there, I believe. Oh, and Rick's got it in the camera there. Look at that. That takes some work to get the bird that far out. Hairy woodpecker, you can see the longer beak. It's a larger size. Of course, he's small in the camera there, but it is. You can see that beak sticking out. There, he's probably going to come into the feeder now. Yeah, here he is on the woodpecker tree. I need to put a sign on the woodpecker tree of the same. Behind the oh, there goes the red-bellied flying off just behind number 10. It might be the oh, way up high. You know what? It might be 2. That is 2, and guess what? They're mating right now. 2 red-shouldered hawks. 2 red-shouldered hawks, and they're, yep. Oh yeah, 2 red-shouldered. Did you get them, Rick? Yeah, they're, oh man. Way up and high. So you see this goldfinch in front of me? If you draw a line out through that goldfinch and down a little, it's up in that area. I take my binocular, there goes one flying. So if you see these 2 large trees leaning left a little bit, follow the right one up, and where it Y's, go to the right of that.
Well, that's a moment, huh?
Yeah, that's a first. That's a first for Coffee with the Birds, I think. They have no idea how many people just saw that. We've got 34 online, and we've got at least 30. I think we've got.
Be careful, you might be
We got a lot more now.
Yeah. Oh, there goes one flying. There goes the other one flying.
I'll put that radio code on.
Please do. Share that checklist with me. Well, talk about stealing the show. Who spotted the hawk first? Skylar? Gold Star. I don't know what you all were able to see online. Okay. So those of you online, I don't know if you heard all of that commotion. But yes, Kyler here. Oh, you just said that. Who saw the hawk first? There was a group of you here looking at that direction. Yeah. So there was a group that saw movement of the hawk first, and I got my binoculars on it way up in the top of the tree at a distance where Rick was putting the camera. I don't know if you could see it in the camera, but I got on it, and that bird was flapping its wings and standing in one position. Then I realized, oh wait, there's another bird underneath it. So, we saw red-shouldered hawks getting ready to nest. That's what we say to the kids. These birds are getting ready to lay eggs. Getting ready to nest. So, wow, how do I recover from that? No, they will. They'll come in. Oh, yeah. Well, so the red-shouldered hawk is more of a woodland species. They're a red-tailed hawk shape, but they're smaller size and wings, so they can maneuver better in the woods. However, Cooper's hawks are better at it than red-shoulders. Red-shoulders will kind of, I don't know, they utilize both habitats, wide open habitats and woodland habitats, but they often will eat, they'll eat birds, but they'll also eat mammals and reptiles, things like all kinds of stuff. The red-shoulders will. They're a more varied diet. But they have been nesting at Hemlock Crossing for the last several years. So they're not as common as the red-tailed. It's been neat to see them nesting in the area. I have found the nest, but it's in a secluded spot, which is just fine. So back to the birds. We got a hairy woodpecker on 4 and a downy on 10. Now you can really see that size difference. And a song sparrow. Where's the song? Oh, so he's not out right now. So there's a song sparrow out there. What's that? Yeah, I'll talk more about that when I get in and do my presentation. But yeah, the question was about my full talk on Slovakia, and I'll tell you more about that when we do the birding tidbits. But yes, for those of you who are online and aren't going to join for the tidbit, I guess I should say, on the 27th of this month, live. We're not sure if we can do the live. If we're going to do the live stream or not. We hope to do a recording and be able to put it online later. But here in person, I'll be giving my presentation on birding in Slovakia. Today, my tidbit is only going to be a portion of that because I've only got half an hour of time. Where's the pileated? Okay, let's keep it real quiet. Let's keep the volume down because they're going to hear us. And if we want them to come in a little closer, we don't want them to. So we've got a pileated woodpecker out there right now. Oh, is he pretty far back? Okay. This is one thing after another today. We're looking. I must be looking in the wrong spot. But yeah, there's a couple of pileated woodpeckers. I think Rick is trying to get on them. He'll probably beat me because I'm lost. Way back there? Look at that. Rick beat me. Is it on that tree that's got all the woodpecker damage? I think I'm looking at, oh, I see it now. Yep, there was a branch sitting right in the way for me. So if you're looking back this way, you see that tree that's got all the woodpecker damage toward the top? That bright colored woodpecker damage? He's on that tree. But it's yeah, that's hard to get on, obviously, because here I am telling you all where it is, and I think everybody in the room has seen it before I did. 7 till 8:30 will be the talk on the 27th. So to answer the question, yeah, when will I be giving that talk? 7 to 8:30 on the 27th, the Thursday evening. If you came to, is there anybody in the room who was there for my presentation with Holland Audubon? No, okay. So I gave the presentation for Holland Audubon, but I wanted to give it again and wanted to give the full presentation. So that's what we will do. That's what I will do. Excited to share those stories with you. Okay, so I'm getting confirmation that those online did see it. Did see the incident. Good job, Rick. Good job, Rick. All right. Okay, we're getting the finches, the goldfinches coming in, so I want to see if we can, in the last couple of minutes here, get that pine siskin. Red-bellied woodpecker, yep, on the snag over here. So there is a tree way back, and you guys saw it, so I don't need to say it, but yeah, that tree is way far back that Rick got on that pileated. There's a tree that they've really been working on back there. There's all kinds of woodpecker damage on it. They must be regularly coming to that. Lots of goldfinches at the feeders right now. Nice shot there, Rick. He's ready to get that pine siskin if it comes in. So I think for next season, I'm going to get a new feeder for this one because we had to put tape on it again today. The squirrels do get up there sometimes, and they tore it down and ripped it apart again. And so, yeah, I think we're going to have to get a new feeder. Any questions online? I'm seeing some chatter there, but not a whole lot of questions and things online. And are there any questions, comments, things? Hello? Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. So this was a pileated, you said? What kind, or what kind? Red-bellied, okay. Okay, so the question is, what is a red-bellied woodpecker doing when it grabs a huge piece of suet and flies off with it? I don't doubt that it has a food cache somewhere. If it can get a big chunk, it's going to be like, especially in the winter when it needs to, it's going to want to store food away. If it gets a big chunk and it can't swallow it whole right there, it's going to probably cache it away and nibble off of it. So, yeah, sometimes they get lucky, and you can just kind of see the look on their face of the woodpecker. You know, when they get one of those big chunks, they're like, ooh, big chunk, and they like almost immediately fly off. That is my experience of seeing, I've seen a similar thing. So, yep. Well, we know we've got at least 2 hawks around. White-breasted nuthatch coming in. You can see this downy woodpecker on number 5 here is kind of frozen. So there was a titmouse that was on 8, just flew off. So there was some sort of an alarm that went off out there, but the others seem to be pretty relaxed. So the downy now is relaxing. You can see they observe each other's behavior. And the nuthatches and the downy woodpeckers especially, they'll watch, and when the chickadees start to relax and move around again, then they start to relax and move around again too. Pretty interesting to watch. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there were good numbers of them this winter. Yep. We've been getting more. So the question is robins overwintering. Yes, we've been seeing lots of robins overwintering, but they congregate in areas, so they're not widespread. So about now, as the ground thaws out, they'll start to get widespread and get their territories, and then they'll be in your yard and everywhere. But until that happens, they're in flocks. And some of them are coming from further south. So not all of them stick around. But yeah, now is the time. We're going to hit 60 degrees this next week. So you be watching. And I'm going to kind of end on that note because I do need to get into the other room to set up for my next live stream. But spring is upon us. The ground is going to be thawing even today. It's supposed to get above freezing. It was cold out there this morning. But the birds are returning. Sandhill cranes are back. Canada geese are back. The ducks are moving. I was out and about in several different parks yesterday. There were several open areas in the ice where mergansers were congregating. I was at Stearns Bayou, the bridge over Stearns Bayou, and there were tons of mergansers out there and things. So it's happening. Spring is upon us. Get out there. Enjoy the good weather today or another day. Go see that barnacle goose if you can. And you'll see other birds along the way, too. That's the fun thing about chasing rarities. You always see other stuff, too. It's a really exciting time of the year, and guess what? That means this is the last Coffee with the Birds, because this is more sedentary birding, and we like to do some sedentary birding in the winter, and this is fun and it's community, but we also have a great community of birders who loves to go birding. And come April, we're going to be doing quite a few bird walks. I've got the schedule online now, so you can check that out. And the schedule is running all the way through September. So the schedule is live all the way through September. We'd love to have you join us for some birding outside as well as the weather improves. To do this year round, it's not as exciting when the weather improves, but during the winter, this is the ideal place to bird. And I'm glad that you all can join us online. I'm glad that you can join us in person for this. And if you and I don't know how to end this. I'm like, all of a sudden it's the end of Coffee with the Birds online. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, I want to thank all of you online and in person for being a part of this, because it's not possible unless you're here and you're involved. And so I applaud you for being a part of this community. I feel humbled to be a part of it and to host this program. And I'm glad that you find some joy in the birds through Coffee with the Birds. And I hope that you continue to do so. For those of you in person, I need everybody to clear out of the room in just a moment. We'll end it in a second. Because Rick needs to clean up in here. And once he's cleaned up, then we can open this back up again. But it's just a whole lot easier. We talked and it was like, let's just let him do that without any interference here. I'm going to move into the great room, and I hope that you do too, because I'm going to give a presentation on birding in Slovakia. I'm going to put the link in the chat here in a moment, and I'll set up in there. We'll be a few minutes, probably a few minutes after 10:30 starting that one, but those of you online, hopefully you can join us there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the great room in just a few minutes. You can cut my mic. Thank you all. Bye.